RFM News for our sponsor Cartier Jewellery, Toronto Town Square and the Esplanade, Warners Bay.
It's 2 o'clock. Good afternoon. I'm Thandi Chindove with 20 RFM Hunter News. The search of a vehicle stopped by police for a random breath test in Windale has uncovered a number of prohibited drugs. Police charged a 32-year-old passenger with drug and weapon offences after finding a flick knife, methamphetamine, liquid amphetamine and cannabis. Joanne Elliott from police headquarters says the man is due to front Newcastle local court today.
A 32-year-old man who was a passenger in that vehicle was arrested. He was taken to Charlestown Police Station where he was charged with drug offences and custody of a knife in a public place. He was refused bail by police. He'll be in Newcastle court later today.
Federal Patterson MP and Parliamentary Secretary for the Environment Bob Baldwin is standing by his decision to tear up the approval for a controversial aged care facility on former Defence land in Sydney's north. The company behind the proposal says the federal government bowed to pressure from shock jock Alan Jones and has now taken legal action against Mr. Baldwin. However, the Patterson MP says public access to the site and the need to protect, conserve and interpret the environmental and heritage values of the land at Middlehead were the reasons he gave when he announced approval for the project had been withdrawn last month. Shopkeepers in the Maitland Mall are set to write to council requesting compensation as they struggle to stay afloat during construction of the first stage of the levee project. The upgrade of High Street to allow for slow one-way traffic to share the mall with pedestrians was due for completion in early 2015, but construction delays mean it won't be finished until September, while fencing is turning shoppers away from the mall. Maitland Mall video store owner John Lee says at least 15 shops have been forced to close already and others will follow.
Put a letter out amongst the shopkeepers and read it and see if they're satisfied with it. Then we'll get one done up and we'll send it all signed the back of it. We're going to send one to every individual councillor to see whether they will reimburse us and try and keep us afloat till this is all finished.
How much money are you seeking?
$5,000 per retailer.
The federal union representing police officers is calling for a disaster-proof phone network following the Hunter superstorm. The storm wreaked havoc on phone services, leaving residents and emergency service workers struggling to communicate in the crisis. Police Federation of Australia CEO Mark Burgess says an alternative communication network is vital in emergency situations.
When situations arise and those systems get congested, then you get no signal. You can't access, you can't send messages, you can't receive messages. What we're saying is public safety can't afford that. Public safety needs to have a system that is different to that, and we don't get caught up in that normal congestion that members of the public might get caught up in because lives and property would otherwise be at risk.
Parts of the Hunter may soon be eligible for more government funding following the recent storms. The state government has applied to the Commonwealth for Category C assistance to help primary producers start again after the natural disaster. Parliamentary Secretary for the Hunter, Scott MacDonald, says the grants won't be widely available as it can only be allocated to the hardest hit communities.
The words are exactly severely affected community, regions or sectors. So, as I say, it's the highest category. It won't be across the whole area. It'll be to those areas that are most severely affected.
Gosford Council says it will maintain its relationship with the University of Newcastle after Wyong Council's idea for a standalone university failed to get support. The plan was put forward by Wyong Mayor Doug Eaton for the Ourimbah campus to sever ties with Newcastle University and become a part of a proposed Central Coast University. Gosford Mayor Laurie McKenna says Council and the university are working to improve services already present at the Ourimbah campus.
I know they're limited in what courses they do at Ourimbah, but for Gosford Council, what we're interested in is getting a bigger campus and getting more things in Gosford, and that's what we're working towards at the moment.
In finance, the All Ords is down 12 points at 54.98, and $1 Australian dollar is buying 76.98 US cents.
Sport for our sponsor, NewcastleCheapestCars.com.au.
Newcastle Knights enforcer Jeremy Smith looks to be re-signing with the club on a one-year contract extension. Despite knocking back the Knights' initial bid, the 35-year-old lock seems likely to see out his NRL career in red and blue. With fellow hardman Beau Scott departing the club at the end of the season, Smith is considered a priority retention. Dundee United chairman Stephen Thompson has once again expressed his interest in the Newcastle Jets. Thompson has been in Newcastle this week to potentially coordinate this time proposing a consortium of investors with other parties interested in owning the club. Newcastle Rugby League clubs will be able to have their say on this season's grand final venue. An information season is being held this Wednesday night to discuss the details of possible locations. And in rugby, coming off their first loss of the season, the Wanderers will be looking to bounce back when they face Lake Macquarie tonight in a catch-up game at number 2 Sports Ground. 2NURFM News Time is 2:05.